a former Tier 0 deck list might have just resurrected itself in Duel Links. Now, I don't want to scare you guys too much. This isn't going to turn out like the current Master Duel situation. Yeah. I'm of course talking about Onomat, a deck list that has since been power crept and nerfed, but is now making a comeback thanks to a brand new spell card. But I'm going to be playing this deck list in a way you might not have expected. Or maybe you did, considering this is my 4th Orcust upload. I think I have a problem. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get to the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, as apparently about 35% of people watching this are even subscribed to the channel, meaning 65% of you haven't even clicked that button yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content and want to see more videos just like this one, I do have a bunch more videos planned around the latest box, including maybe Galaxy Eyes or S-Force, maybe even another Orcust build with Crystal Beast, something like that. So if you guys are interested in seeing any of that content, remember to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's get into the deck list. Alright, so before we get into the deck list, why am I playing 30 cards? Because as you guys know, I'm a bit of a hater of 30 card deck lists. I normally don't upload them, but just like the Gandora video, it's a must for this deck list. Because unfortunately with this deck, there is so many different cards and different combinations of cards you just do not want to have in your starting hand. For example, you never want to open 2 Onomats, because you're going to be searching one anyway, it's a completely dead card, and you don't want to discard one outside of discarding Onomatopoeia. You don't want to open 2 Orcust, because you generally only have 1 discard unless you're going for your Mermaid line, it just feels awful. You never want to open 2 trap cards, because your field generally gets clogged by this card, so you can only actually set one along with your release. Speaking of release, you don't actually want to draw this card either, because you want to search for it. Same with Revenge, you're going to be searching for this, you never want to draw it. You also don't want to open your Crusader, so hopefully you sort of get the picture. There's a lot of cards in here you don't want in your starting hand, so just playing 30 cards means that you won't actually see them all that often, and the few times you do, you can generally sort of get around it by discarding them with either your Mermaid or discarding them with your Onomatopaira, and just sort of playing the game normally, so that's the reason we're playing 30. Alright, so why are we playing Onomatopoeia with Orcust? Well, Onomatopoeia just got itself a brand new card that's increased its consistency drastically, and that being your Onomatopickup, which on activation just searches for any Onomat card in your deck list and adds it straight to your hand. That being either a copy of Onomatopoeia Utopic, which you won't search for all that often, but does come up, especially considering you can discard it to then play through certain back row, as you'll see during the gameplay. But the second thing you can do with it is you can search for Onomatopaira, which is like Onomat's best card. This card discards any card from your hand, which, by the way, we're playing Orcust, you kinda like having the discard, and in doing so, adds 2 monsters from your deck straight to your hand, which makes this deck incredibly consistent, because essentially, you're going to be searching for a copy of your sister and a copy of your coat. In doing so, your sister and your coat will make a Beatrice, which will then send your Orcust monster to the graveyard whenever I see it, your Harp to the graveyard, banish it, and then go down your full Orcust line, as you'll see during the gameplay. As for the rest of the deck list, honestly, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, as I've uploaded like 4 Orcust videos already, so I'm pretty sure you guys know what the Orcust cards do by now, and if you don't, just watch the gameplay, you'll see it during there. And as for the Onomat cards, they've been out forever, same reasoning, you guys have seen what these cards do, you know what they do, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I do want to mention, if you have more copies of your Paria, if you have 3 of it, just play 3 of it. It's a selection box card, so not everybody has it, and like me, I only have 2 of them, so yeah, I'm only playing 2, but if you have 3 of it, you want to play 3. It's the best card in your deck list, gets your full combo running, so yeah, play 3 of it. Alright, without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. Alright, so today I have a whole bunch of replays to share with you, so let's actually just jump right into it, otherwise this video is going to go for like 40 minutes. I've got like 7 or 6 replays to share. I was looking through to cut a few because I thought the video would go for way too long, but there were too many good ones, I just couldn't do it, so I just kept them all. Alright. Because a lot of these replays are just me playing through Disruption, which is like, it just looks really good as a video, or yeah, it just looks really good for the deck list. Alright, so not the greatest hand, we drew a double Orcust, and we drew another brick as well. Very awful hand. But we did draw a 1 card starter, so it could be worse. And the reason I showed this replay is because we play through a very specific card. A card that is meant to be a counter to Orcust, as you see in most tournaments right now, most competitive tournaments. A lot of people are slide decking it anyway. So my opponent does a whole bunch of Orcusty stuff, nothing too exciting here. I think he ends on a fairly dead board, to be fair. But just because he had a dead board doesn't mean his hand was dead. Alright, so he ends on what looks like nothing. But as soon as I start playing the game, I think I discard one of the Orcusts here. Of course, probably this one. He activates Lancia, which basically stops me banishing cards from the graveyard, which is a huge counter to Orcust, which needs to banish stuff from the graveyard. Or is it? As you're about to see. Alright. So searching for my 2 Onomat monsters, the 2 you're going to be normally searching for, the Sister and of course hit the special summon from hand. Going Revenge off of Sister, special summon out, making my Knightmare Phoenix, which can then be straight away, so I can use Revenge first, summoning something back. Then we're going to go into Knightmare Mermaid. Then of course discarding, summoning out an Orcust Knightmare, and going into Automaton. And ending on Evening Star. So this card is, even though this thing is immune to destruction, we're just going to send it straight to the graveyard. And that is lethal on field. So yeah, just saved this reflex. I thought it was really amusing to play through a card that's meant to be a direct counter to Orcust by playing Orcust. So, because we didn't even do much Onomat stuff there. I did a little bit of Onomat stuff, but as soon as I got 2 monsters, straight down the Orcust line. Alright, next one. Alright, so I don't quite remember all of these, because I watched them... I actually didn't watch them that long ago, but I don't quite remember which ones are which. This is obviously a Resonator gameplay. Oh yeah, this is the, where he tries to summon the 2 Synchros. Alright, so actually a pretty decent hand, but we did draw 2 trap cards, which is a little bit awkward, as I said, as I'll probably mention during the decklist portion. Having 2 trap cards means, because we opened the Onomatopicup, this card stays on the field, and we're going to search for a trap card as part of our combo, so we're just going to have 1 card in hand that we couldn't set, so it's a little bit awkward, but not the worst hand, obviously. Because we can still discard this Knightmare with our Onomatopaira, so we don't really care about that. Sister searching for our special summon, Coat, summoning from hand, making them both level 6. So then we go into our Beatrice, and this is how you normally start your Orcust line, because you'll send, of course, your Harp to the graveyard. Now before using any of the things in your graveyard, make sure to use your Gagagarevenge first, because Revenge, obviously, it's going to target a non-dark monster, and your Orcust stuff locks you to dark, so keep that in mind. Alright, now we do our Orcusty stuff. 2 monsters on field, making our Automaton. Skeleton, special summoning back. Alright, shuffling back into the deck, and sending a copy of our release, along with my prison. And of course going to Evening Star before the turn ends. And attaching below so it goes to the graveyard. Alright, he Cosmics one of our back row. Doesn't particularly matter, we don't care that much, we got release still. Surprised he didn't actually Cosmic the release since he knew which one it was. Either way, Sprinter. Now, normally against this deck list, you want to get rid of the... You probably want to get rid of the tuner straight away, because if you get rid of the tuner, even if they have their level 4 extender in hand, they won't be able to play the game still. Because if you leave a monster on field, a tuner, they can summon level 4, and then just continue down their normal play as if you didn't do anything. But in this case, I have 2 lots of disruption, so I want to get rid of both their synchros now. Because this deck list, I think it's about... I don't know what the actual number is, but majority of the time, most people play only 2 copies of their starter synchro, the level 6 that brings the tuner back. So if you get rid of both of them, well... their deck is just dead for the rest of the duel. They can't really come back from that. So that was my goal. I was like, I'm just going to let him summon both of them. Even if he can summon both of them. So summons the Rising Dragon. I'm just going to remove that. Then as soon as I know he tries to summon another one, we have our Beatrice to flip it face down. Or in fact, flip the tuner face down if we like as well. I think I do flip the tuner. Or do I flip the synchro? No, I flip the synchro. I think it was probably safer to flip the tuner there, but even if he did have another one, his deck list is unlikely to even have another copy of this anyway, the synchro. Because most don't. Most only play 2. To make room for other dudes. I already misplayed because I summoned the wrong card. I was meant to summon out, it didn't matter in the end because he had a Book of Moon, but I was meant to summon out another dude and not the Harp, because the Cymbal was meant to be used to summon back Dingirsu later on, so already a slight misplay there, but it didn't really matter. He had Book of Moon. Yeah, he just concedes. I did check his deck list after, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't playing more than 2 of them. Alright, so where are we up to? I think it was this one? We're only 3 in. Alright, So this guy wasn't playing Phantom Knight, he was playing the Pendulum skill, which I counted a couple of times actually. The really insane Pendulum skill that I don't really know what point you're meant to do the destructing-y stuff, because I don't really know what this deck even does. It just kind of summons that annoying Exceed monster that can quick effect pop things but it's got dragons. That's all I know. Alright, summons out all these dudes. Summons out here's a dragon. What's it? Dragon Doom Rider? Prismatic, by the way. Alright, so Onomatopaira searching for my Appear and my sister. Normal Summon Sister going to be searching for my Revive, so even if he does choose to pop this now, I can just revive this and then continue my play anyway, so I don't really care too much. At least I think this is a pop, right? Yeah, it is a pop. He chooses not to, so I'm just going to summon this dude. He then decides to pop this before I can make an XC summon that way. Doesn't really matter though, because I can just revive it. Then I can actually just go straight down for Orcust line, because that's 2 monsters on field. I could also have gone for the... because I'm pretty sure I didn't get to use my sister's effect. Oh no, I did get to use it, never mind. Alright, so we just do full Orcust line. Automaton. Knightmare Banish, increasing attack. Banishing Horror, summoning forward. Alright, going into Evening Star, removing his final card, I believe. Beating over it, and passing the turn. He sets another scale, of course. We're not going to let him Pendulum summon. I'm just going to bank on this card not being another scale. Even if it was, I don't think he would have gone some sort of insane combo here. At least I hope not, so just going to remove that. Alright. Next up, we have... I was going to say Nibiru, but Nibiru, whatever this was. Probably just offended someone there. My apologies. Alright. Our hero player. Nibiru. Alright. So hand's perfectly fine. It's actually kind of nice to open Onomatopaira in a lot of matchups because a lot of the time, discarding this card actually means you have a target for a revive if your opponent compulses your sister. Bit of a weird sort of thing there, but you'll see it in a couple of times. There's a reason you are actually running one of this, because you can search it off of your spell card if you already have your Onomatopira in hand. Alright, so sister going for a sort of standish sort of play here. Actually, slightly less stand actually, because we decided to summon this thing out so we can keep this dude on field, I believe. Oh no, so he gets this thing an attack buff. Doesn't really change much though, still ends the exact same way. Alright. Automaton, special summoning out. This thing is a 3600 attack card, by the way. What's Beatrice's base, actually? 2500 to 3600. Just a slight increase. Alright, Evening Star, of course, setting our back row, and we're good to go. Back down to 28, though, sadly. Alright. Oh yeah, this is a pretty quick replay. This guy tries to use his poly. I know this deck list needs 2 different types to be able to summon out its fusion, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna Forbidden Lance this card, so the poly won't affect it, so he has to use cards only in hand, and if he doesn't have 2 types, well, then, or 2 attributes, well, yeah, it'll fizzle. Which, it did. And when he sets a card, I'm gonna summon back my dude, remove it before the turn ends, and I think he just concedes, because, yeah, this is gonna be lethal. Alright. It's a bit of a quick one, that one. Okay, Trickster. Not playing the correct Trickster skill though. As you'll see, I'm pretty sure he only sets 1 back rate. If he was playing the other skill, would have set multiple. I'm just saying. Not that Trickstar's very good in this format when everyone's playing in Dingirsu, but yeah, this card just sends the Trickstars to the graveyard, so... or Dingirsu, sorry. I think I said Dingirsu, oops. Anyway. And I pick up searching for a Peria. This was technically a misplay. I think I should have searched for the monster here and discarded the monster for the exact same reason I mentioned earlier, where if my opponent does have a Compulse, which, spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure this was, he could have Compulsed my sister and I would have just lost the game instantly. So I should have searched for, yeah, the way to play through that. Even if it wasn't technically, like, optimal, because I would have kept this card in hand, and I could discard this anyway with, like, a Mermaid line or something, so I don't know. I think this is a wrong play. Should have definitely discarded the Onomatopoeia monster instead. Searched for it and discarded it. Didn't matter in this case though, because my opponent was too scared to want to compulse this. He was worried I was going to do some Orcust stuff or something, so his fault. Alright, Phoenix, discard from hand. You ended up discarding a second card anyway, so definitely should have done the other line. But if I did the other line, I 100% would have played through this card anyway, so... Alright. Summoning out Automaton. Knightmare, summoning back, or sending to the graveyard to then banish, special summon. And just doing your standard finishing play here of release, summoning your big dude, removing this. Not quite enough for lethal, but that's alright, he just concedes. Yeah, that's definitely playing the wrong Trickster skill there. Alright, two more replays. This decklist actually has a surprising amount of like ways to play through Disruption. I think this is a triple back row game we played through here. Easily predicted where the sewer poly was though, my big brain. Alright. So someone's out his Neos. The fact this deck can search for sewer poly is absolutely disgusting. I don't even know you can search for it here, I'm pretty sure I just opened it. Yeah, he actually just opened it. Alright, set 3, and he specifically set them in like a weird order, he did it really slowly, so I was like, okay, he's trying to figure out which one I'm not going to target with Cosmic, so I assumed it was this one. Just because of the weird order he was placing stuff. The easiest prediction of my life. Alright, pick up, searching for my Paria. This one, discarding my card, so this, you actually think you're going to see the play here. Alright, searching for Sister. Sister's going to search for my card. So if my opponent compulses this, I would still be able to keep playing. So Coat summoning out. Sister changing the levels. Going for my Eternal. Alright, sending my Harp Horror. Bring him back. Could actually have gone for an Abyss Duel there, I'm pretty sure. Because I've had a Onomatopaira, I hadn't used an Orcust effect yet, I believe. So I could have actually gone for an Abyss Duel there. Or a Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon if I wanted to. Alright, summon out Automaton. He compulses it. We've got Lance in hand, so don't care. I mean, pretty sure one of these was a poly because he searched for one, so one of them was probably just a bait anyway. Which is why I didn't try to go for any Knightmare Phoenix plays or anything, there was no need. Alright. And final replay. I believe this was also a going second one, I believe. Was it playing Chronomoid? He was playing Life Point Boost Alpha, if I remember correctly. Is it an Orcust matchup, I think? Everyone's on Orcust now. Maybe he was playing Chronomoid and just chucked an Orcust anyway. Who knows? Alright, goes for Phoenix. Phoenix obviously going into Mermaid, discarding a card. Discarding a Harp. Going for Automaton. I think this guy got a little bit unlucky, because I think he only ended on one trap card, so we didn't draw into any back rowy stuff. Or any tech cards. I don't even know if he was even playing 20 cards, so maybe it was his own fault. Can't even bother counting. Alright. So pick up, searching for my Paria. Paria going to be discarding my Orcust. Alright, now normally, like I said before, because if I'm scared of Compulse, we could have discarded the Onomatopoeia, but we know what this card is, we know he's only going to send a card to Graveyard, and if he sends Sister, I can still play the game because of the spell. The Revenge. Which means I could have discarded the Orcust, which is what I did. Make the 2 level 6s, he removes one. Doesn't realize that, I have this spell on the field, which can literally make them level 6 again. Go into Beatrice, and he was having none of that, because we had lethal here, because we just could have sent the other Orcust, the Harp, and then we'd had 2 ways to special summon to the field, and make Dingirsu remove his monster, and yeah, that was lethal. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.